Hello, this is Justin Bush with Fit for Life. Again, here with Moving Fit for Feminine Fat Loss. Following up on our previous video, we ended kind of with the cliffhanger talking about fat. So let's get right into it. Let's cover a couple of things and then we'll get to where we ended off last. So here's your fat cell, right? So what happens is your body says, hey, I have this fat that I can't use for energy, I have this sugar that I can't use for energy, and in some cases even I have these amino acids that have been breaking down into acetyl-CoA. I have too much acetyl-CoA, let's send that to, let's convert that to fat, and let's send that to the fat cell. Now, once it enters the fat cell, it doesn't just float around as free energy, it gets attached. It gets attached to glycerol. So this is a glycerol backbone, right? So a lot of times people say, you know what, I'm exercising, and it seems as if I may be getting smaller, but my overall fat isn't going away. Well, what you have to look at when you create your exercise programs is, am I breaking this chain? Is my nutrition, lifestyle, and exercising adding up in a way to where I can consistently and regularly access the energy within my adipose cells, with my fat cells, right? So to do that, you have to know, well, what breaks this chain, right? Because this is the whole point. You want to burn the energy within your adipose cell. If you're trying to lose the fat, you don't want to just spend the majority of your time burning the energy from the food that you've eaten. And there are two hormones specifically. Let's see, I don't have black, so we'll go blue. Okay? And that is, we'll erase this. That is adrenaline. And glucagon. Okay? We'll get more into this, but the name for breaking down fat, stored fat specifically, is lipolysis. And if you look at lipolysis, what it's going to tell you is these are the hormones that when they come down through the bloodstream, which I should add on the side, is going to hit your hormone receptor on your fat cell. When it hits the hormone receptor on your fat cell, what's going to happen is it's going to activate two things. It's going to activate hormone-sensitive lipase, right? Hormone-sensitive lipase, hormone receptor, hits the hormone receptor, activates what? Hormone-sensitive lipase, as well as water. Those two things hydrolyze, so separate my little blue squares that I had a moment ago, break apart the glycerol from the fat, okay? It breaks apart the glycerol from the fat, and from there, they go in two separate directions, okay? Your glycerol is going to go to the liver. Let's see if I can draw a liver. Okay, so that's my liver. So that's what we're going to call it. So your glycerol is going to go here. Okay? You cannot burn glycerol the same way that you're going to burn your free fatty acids that we had earlier. Glycerol is going to go to your liver, and then the liver is going to make a decision. It's going to say, okay, do I want to take this, convert it to sugar, and store it as glycogen, if you can remember from our liver video? Am I going to take this and burn it because, let's say, you're doing high-intensity exercise? Whatever the case may be, glycerol is going to go here. Now, what's really important to know, glycerol, unfortunately, makes up 5% of the energy within that triglyceride that we just looked at. So it's a twofold problem when you really think about it, right? First problem is I have this fat tissue, I have a significant amount of energy in it, I have to release it. So either adrenaline or glucagon, one of the two hormones, needs to come to my fat cell and say, hey, release this energy. Then the second problem is 95% of the energy that you just released has now been thrown into your bloodstream. So 95%. Right? So on top of what you've already eaten, you now have all this energy from your adipose tissue, if you were able to release it, all this energy that now flows into your bloodstream. And what's going to happen, and this is going to be our next video, it's going to go to we're going to call your energy cycle for right now. It's actually your Krebs cycle, but just for clarity's sake, it's going to go into your energy cycle. And the reason we call it a cycle is because, and we're going to talk about this next, it's going to get here, and it has two opportunities. It can either be burned, which is what we're hoping for, or it can be reabsorbed. Okay? So, let's take it from the top one more time, and then we'll end this video. So, you managed to break apart the glycerol backbone from the free fatty acids, right? So glycerol goes to the liver, hopefully the liver decides to burn it. The lion's share of the energy, of which you now need to burn, right, goes to the energy cycle. It hasn't been burned yet. It could be burned. But that's what we're going to talk about next. Once it gets here, it's now available, right? So remember from our fat video, the energy that's in our adipose tissue is not readily available. We've now made it available. So let's talk about how it can get burned. See you in the next video.